Hi, welcome to the Pigskin post-game wrap for week 3 of the Sac-Joaquin Section football playoffs. What a night, huh?
Big night.
You were at the corral. You saw Oakdale steam past Inderkum in a rematch of last year's D3 final. You and I were over at David Patton Field. We saw Central Catholic just obliterate Placer 48-14. And now we have a rematch.
That's what we wanted. That's what everyone wanted, right? Oakdale, Central Catholic one more time.
Yeah, we thought these two teams were on a collision course back in week 0, week 1, when we were forecasting the season, and here we are.
And we kind of predicted that they would both be 9-0 when they met in the final week of the season. They were. Central Catholic defeated Oakdale 42-37 to win the VOL title. And, you know, that night, Lane Trapp came up and gave Justin Rice, you know, a congratulatory tap and said, "Hey, we'll see you in the sections.
We'll be back."
He said, "You bet we will." And
Rice did his part.
Rice did his part tonight.
Rice did his part in a big way. Rushed for a school record 308 yards on 22 carries and 5 touchdowns.
Broke his own school record by a yard.
Broke his own school record by a yard, and he didn't play the final quarter and a half, basically.
Pretty much,
yeah.
Boy, difference-making player every time he goes out there, right?
Yeah, 254 yards by the half.
Boy.
And he scores on the first play from scrimmage for Central. He goes, what, 65 yards? 66
64.
yards? 64 yards?
Yeah.
And you knew it was going to happen.
Yeah, I had a unique opportunity to sit in with Coach Canepa before the game, and you know, I was asking him a little bit about his game plan. You know, what's your strategy, Coach? And he said, "Yeah, well, not to give too much away, but here's the play we're going to open with. We feel like we can attack.
Not to give too much away.
Yeah, we feel like we can attack this side of the line, and we like to match up with this linebacker and this safety." And he said, "You know, if everything goes as planned, you know, we could be dancing in the end zone with 6."
Boy.
And sure enough,
That worked out, huh?
Sure enough, he went to the house, just pulled away from the safety.
That's the way you plan it, right? In the end zone.
Yeah.
But you have to beat Central Catholic, you better be able to withstand that first storm. Because they come at you in that first quarter.
Well, and that's what happened against Oakdale in the first matchup. Central Catholic gets up 21-0, and Oakdale's unable to recover. Now they did make a furious rally at the end there. Really had Central reeling, but the Raiders were able to withstand that and held on for the win on November 6th.
Yeah, and now
that's what I liked about tonight. I mean, there was a moment there in the second quarter when Placer, you know, 4th and 4, they're getting desperate. They're down 21-0. They throw a little out pass. The guy slips a tackle and goes in for a touchdown. And you're thinking, okay, maybe, you know, those thoughts of Oakdale come creeping back in your mind. You know, is this game going to get close? No, it wasn't.
No, they just thumped them.
Yeah, they scored the next 28 points or something like that to put that distance back between them. And you know, that's what you want to see from a championship caliber club. You want to see them sort of put their foot down. And
which is what Oakdale did, right? Inderkum comes back and makes it 37-32, cuts it to 37-32, and Oakdale responds.
Oakdale responds immediately. I think Indercum's seen enough of Oakdale. I mean, last year they led Oakdale 20-0 in the section final. Oakdale comes back and wins 27-23. Tonight, Indercum comes out. You know they want Oakdale this year badly. They return the kickoff for a touchdown. Isaiah Crocker takes it 97 yards to the house to open the game. Oakdale's answer, down the field twice. Boom, boom, 2 touchdowns, and they're off and running. 353 yards on the ground. Brad Aquino, 5 touchdowns. That wing T, it's just like a metronome.
That's
just
9
tick, tick, tick.
in 2 weeks for him. 9.
What a run. And a truly amazing backfield has emerged at Oakdale this year. With Brad Aquino, did not start a varsity game until this season, and Austin Burke, who was a soccer player until his junior year last year. Those two combined for 7 touchdowns tonight. What a performance by the Mustangs.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and you know, the Raiders tonight did it without passing much. You know, they threw the ball 4 times for a total of 17 yards.
Yeah.
You know, one of them was picked off.
Yeah. And really, that one completion was a kind of a gift from Canepa. You know, he just wanted to put the nail in the coffin, so to speak, on Placer, and so he threw on 3rd and long late in the game that he already had in hand.
Yeah, Placer wasn't pleased with that.
No, not at all.
But But they had 10 guys in the box. I mean, it was 3rd and long, 10 in the box. What are you going to do?
Yeah. I mean, you said it earlier. I mean, Central can't expect to win if they're not as efficient or.
I don't think they get away with being as inefficient in the passing game against Oakdale.
I mean, Oakdale was coming back at them late in the game, right? Yeah. And it took some plays by Oakdale's defense to save it.
Central's defense is really playing at a high level right now.
Is that?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth noting. I mean, Placer came into this game with the 2nd most prolific offense, according to stats on Max Preps. 2nd only to Wood of Vacaville.
500 plus yards a game,
averaging
46
over
points.
500 yards a game. Tonight they had 28 yards rushing as a team. Wrap your head around that. 28 yards rushing as a team, and 184 total yards, 85 of which came on the last play of the game.
On the last play of the game.
On really a meaningless touchdown pass.
That was a shutdown of a great offense.
Yeah.
Other than the last play of the game, they're under 100 yards offense.
Man.
But then they break that last one as the running clock ticks off. They running clocked them.
Yeah.
That's
a 12-0 team.
A 12-0 team. So that's a big performance for the Raiders in front of one of their big fans, Coach Herman Edwards, former NFL coach Herman Edwards. He was there tonight.
Shook the hand.
Married a Central Catholic graduate, that's why he's in town this week.
Leah Kamara,
yes,
I believe, and they were in town for the holiday. And Coach Edwards and Roger Canepa have a relationship from coaching in the Under Armour All-American game last January. So he was in town, looked him up, and he was there on the sidelines for a little moral support.
That was a great photo of him leaning against the goalpost before the game tonight. Yeah, I like that. Studying the scene. Looking forward to a high school football game.
He was, man. Yeah. He was.
Well, maybe he picked the wrong week to come, because next week at Lincoln High, Friday, December 4th, Lincoln High School in Stockton, 7 p.m. kickoff. The rematch.
The game everyone wants to see again.
Including the Sac-Joaquin section. They seeded Central #1 and they seeded Oakdale #2, despite 3 other teams having 10-0 records.
Yeah,
so
champs too.
Yeah, they're the defending champs. Yeah. And this is going to be a good one. So that's it for this week's Pigskin
post-game wrap.
Thank you. Thank you. We will see you next week after the big Division III clash between Central Catholic and Oakdale.